Shalom, brethren, and welcome to Yahushua's temple, to Zion, where we do nothing but make sure you're conscious of the truth. Understood? For the truth is life. Imagine if you lost your sound mind. What we're going to call it? We're going to call it crazy, right? Exactly. So you get me? The spirit of Elohim giveth you a sound mind. And our work is to retain that sound mind by making sure you hear truth continually. Understood? I hope you've been enjoying the fruits of the Holy Ghost so far, and I hope you've been having your personal walk with Elohim. Because without your personal walk with Elohim, we doubt if you're a Christian. Basically. Many people want to use others as their source of faith. But why we look at the human being as a source of faith? If the human being fails, what? You see? The scriptures never told you to do that. So why are you going to do that? You see? So I want to make sure you're having your personal work, understanding the truth, so that you can sharpen swords with one another. You can edify one another with truth. If somebody is falling, you can help the person stand with your words of wisdom. Not carnal words, spiritual words, understand? To make each other stand strong. That's what we do out here. So, welcome once again. Shalom Aleichem Yahushua Mashiach's name. Today we're going to be speaking on the topic titled The Role of Spiritual Authority. The role of spiritual authority, because most of you don't know what the spiritual authority is. You think humans are spiritual authorities, right? So we want to make sure you get that very clear. Before you call someone your spiritual authority, is the person playing the role? Is the person doing what they're supposed to do? Exactly. So therefore, no human can be a spiritual authority if you understand what the role of a spiritual authority is. So this sermon is going to make it very clear so that I stop having humans as a spiritual authority. Understood? Yeah. So listen and be blessed. Welcome once again. So basically, the need for this topic is very, very pressing, right? When I mean pressing, many people don't understand simple commandments from Yahushua Mashiach Nazareth. You see what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be a believer, but nobody wants to practice the commandments of Yahushua Mashiach Nazareth. It's almost as if grace has excluded you from practicing the commandments of Yahushua Mashiach Nazareth. Forgetting Yahushua says, teaching them to observe everything that I've commanded you. He didn't say some things. He didn't say because of grace you can practice some things and not practice some things. No. Everything that I've commanded you, his words are very serious. But some of you don't understand this. You see? So you have to understand this. You have to understand that the reason why there was law in the first place is to block the gates from evil spirits penetrating. You see what I mean? And the reason why there is grace in the first place is for you to increase in truth so that you yourself can block the gates to evil spirits coming into your own body, the temple of Elohim. See what I'm saying? So it's not just about saying law, it's not just about saying grace. Do you understand? Do you understand the law was to stop evil spirits from infiltrating the land of Israel so that the angels and the Spirit of the Most High would just hover around the land? Do you understand that was the purpose of the law? Do you understand that after Israel has failed, right, that grace then is for you to what? Rise up, have knowledge, and be able to wage war against these fallen spirits. That's why also war against fallen spirits, war not against flesh and blood, to stop them from coming in. Do you understand that? So just stop shouting grace, 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 and then forgetting the truth. You see, the truth is very important. So today we're going to talk about the role of a spiritual authority. But first of all, what do you understand about an authority? Right? An authority is any office, any position that is able to dictate for you, give you laws and everything like that for you to follow, and give you punishment if you refuse to follow those laws, for example. See what I mean? So we have physical authority, we have spiritual authority. when we say Yahushua is king, it doesn't mean that the earthly kings are not still king. Like if you were in a land, for example, it doesn't mean that the king of that land is not still king. You see, we're talking different types of stuff. We're talking about king of the heart, and we're talking about king of the land, where we're living, where we have to observe rules and everything like that. So look at it like a Daniel situation and a Nebuchadnezzar situation. Where Nebuchadnezzar is the king of Babylon and Daniel is in Babylon, he has to observe and respect Nebuchadnezzar's rules. However, when Nebuchadnezzar tries to interfere with things that will damage Daniel's soul, tries to interfere with things that are contrary to the laws of Elohim, right? In context, what happens? Nebuchadnezzar is at variance with Daniel. You see what I'm saying? That's the only time Nebuchadnezzar has to kill Daniel, because Daniel is not going to obey Nebuchadnezzar. But as long as Nebuchadnezzar is not going contrary to the laws of Elohim, Nebuchadnezzar stays Daniel's physical king, you see, not spiritual king. I want you to understand this. You see, like if Nebuchadnezzar made a rule like nobody should pray in the land anymore, all of a sudden it's in contradiction to Daniel. Daniel becomes a rebel. You see what I'm saying? Because Daniel is going to keep praying. You see? If Nebuchadnezzar says nobody should serve Elohim anymore, nobody should call Elohim God anymore, they should call him God, all of a sudden it's in contradiction with Daniel. You saw it with the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego case. So I want you to understand this, that just because Daniel has a king, that's Elohim of Israel in his heart and stuff like that, doesn't mean he doesn't have to obey Nebuchadnezzar. So some of you are like, oh, if you say that Christ is king, you're a rebel to the physical order. You see what I mean? But this is very twisted, because Christ actually tells you to respect the physical order as well, as long as the physical order is not going against that rule code. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. See what I'm saying? So you have to understand these things. You have to be able to separate these things, so you don't become a rebel. You see what I'm saying? Because the scripture says respect those in authorities. I want you to understand that. So that's physical authority. So what then is the role of your spiritual authority? By knowing what your spiritual authority is, you know that no human can be a spiritual authority. You see what I mean? Because your spiritual authority is like the God of your heart, basically. He who sets all the rules that your heart abides by. That's your spiritual authority. While your physical authority is the person who sets the rules that your body has to observe and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Get that? Physical, spiritual. But there comes a place where they clash, because there are some things you have to do physically that the physical king cannot interfere with. Because if he interferes with it, then he's troubling your heart relationship. So this is where the clashes are. Get it? Your faith, your spirit laws, stuff like that. See what I mean? Because if you were to abandon those spiritual laws, you're going to pave way for evil spirits to come in. And when evil spirits come in, then you're going to be a rebel to the physical system anyway, because everybody possesses a rebel to the physical system. The difference is the evil spirits also trouble the kings of the earth as well, and so therefore the laws are going to change to favor disorder and call disorder order, like you can see today. So this is not always going to happen. You know what I mean? Your spiritual authority is someone that makes you right with your creator, with your source, with your life source. Good? Repeat after me. Your spiritual authority is someone that makes you right, makes your way right with your life source. Your life source is your creator, your origin, right? Exactly. So if he's making you right, he's your spiritual authority. But if he has no power to make you right, he's not your spiritual authority. Because then you're dead. If you're not right to the creator, you're simply dead. You see what I'm saying? So that makes Yahushua your spiritual authority. Your spiritual authority is the person that came while your way is no longer right with Elohim, while your way is blocked with Elohim. The person that came paid the sacrifice, shed his blood, seized the keys of death and of Hades, and set rules and principles for you to follow in order for you to be his subject and be delivered from everything that is troubling you. For you to receive the grace, the freedom he has paid the price for. Then that way you can have a relationship with the Father. He makes you right with the Father. You see, so only Yahushua has that role. You see? So Yahushua is your spiritual authority. Christ is the spiritual authority. So Yahushua is your spiritual authority. Christ is your spiritual authority. Every human being, like me, or any pastor, any pope, or any reverend, or any vicar, or any wherever, every human being is supposed to be your brethren, your fellow brethren. But it's just that they are like there before you. They are like elders. That's if they've been there before you. They are elders trying to give you the experience of the faith for you to get there. You see, Christ also told you this. He gave you this as a commandment, as a command. So I don't know why some of you want to be delivered from the law, but you don't understand that grace has laws. That if you are not obeying the laws of grace, you're actually out of grace. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. There are principles for you to observe, for you to inherit whatever has been given to you. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. If I had money for you right now, there's something you have to do to take that money. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So that's a principle. So though you take that money, you have to observe a principle in order to collect that money. That's the same thing. So when someone says, call no one father upon the earth, that's spiritually speaking, obviously, because your earthly father is your father. Call no one father upon the earth. That's a commandment. He's telling you to call no one father upon the earth. That's apart from the earthly father. He's talking spiritually. You're born again, you're in this kingdom, and nobody is your father. Your father is only your source of life, El Shaddai. Apart from he who is in heaven. Then call no one teacher, rabbi, master, spiritually. You see what I mean? Apart from he himself who has paid the price for you. These are commandments. It doesn't mean that you don't have teachers, but they are meant to be like your physical teachers. That means you have to check their word with the spirit. You see what I mean? If that means you take from them, but you must check it with the spirit before you digest it. Because they themselves, they got it from the spirit. So if they've erred, which they're capable of erring, when you check with the spirit, you're going to correct that error before you allow the other word to sit in. It's like a filter. So that means don't take their word as final, like some of you do. Oh, this pastor said this. This pastor said that. This pastor said that. Hello. If you have checked with the word, if you've checked with the spirit, you won't be saying this pastor said that. You'll be saying Christ said this. This is where many of you are failing. True or false? You see, if you say this pastor said this, that means you're taking his word as final. But if he was your brethren, if you were obeying the law of the spirit, if it was your brethren, you're going to take his word. And then you're going to check it with the spirit and with the word of Elohim. And if it is exactly what the spirit is saying, then it's no longer the pastor that said it. The pastor is just a vessel using the spirit speaking. It's now the spirit says this, or what? El Shaddai says this, or what? Christ says this. And this is the end you should come to the end that Christ stays your instructor. Because he commanded that no one else be instructed. These are things people don't want to spend time with. But when you go to school, you observe the laws they give you in school in order to pass your tests, in order to get your degrees and stuff like that. You see? But you wouldn't do it in the faith. You just push it aside like it's not important. We're under grace. If we're under grace, then why is Christ telling you to observe these things? Let's read it, for example. Turn with me to the book of Matthew chapter 23. I'm going to be reading from verse 8 to wherever I stop. It reads, "But be not ye called rabbi." Is that a law? Exactly. Be not ye called rabbi. Rabbi is like a teacher, right? For one is your master. He's telling you, only one is your master, not two. Just one is your master. even Christ. Right? That's even the Messiah. Whoever you call the Messiah, that's your master. Exactly. It's His word you have to obey in order to inherit the grace that you like professing. I'm under grace, I'm under grace, I'm under grace. If you're not obeying His word, you're not His servant, basically. And He's giving you a commandment here. Right? And all ye are brethren. So you have only one master, and the rest of you are brethren. Be it one bishop or whatever, it's just your brother. You see? Lest you take His word too special, more than Christ, as if He has another thing to tell you other than what Christ has already told you. Christ is telling you, I've finished it. Christ said, it is finished. But some of you don't like hearing that it is finished. You think because we are so sophisticated, we are so blessed with different languages and stuff like that, you think that that makes us more intelligent. Christ has finished everything. There's no price that has to be paid anymore. Nothing has to change anymore. It's just that you have to understand His word. You see what I'm saying? And the more you keep practicing, the more you understand. So you must come to where you know this is Christ's word. Not this person's sake. So that person is nothing but your brethren. Christ is making you understand these things. But you people like being too respectful, humble in man's eyes. Whereas you forget that humility is actual surrender to the Creator. Capable of being corrected by the Creator. That's what humility is. It has nothing to do with man. It's the Creator that tells you who to respect, who to obey, who not to obey. Because all obedience is to the Creator, not to man anyway. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand this thing. You have to get these things. And call no man your father upon the earth. Now he's not saying you don't have a physical father. He's talking spiritually. Right? Call no man your father upon the earth. For one is your Father, which is in heaven. You only have one spiritual father. You don't have two spiritual fathers. There's nobody coming for anything other than to explain Christ's words to you. If somebody came with their own word, they are a false prophet. Everybody sent is coming to explain Christ to you. Case closed. These are commandments which you don't like obeying, by the way. And you wonder why you're struggling. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So basically, whoever claims that they are something, disregard the person. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand this. Many of you are making these mistakes. You treat Christ's word so casual, like it doesn't matter. But trust me, it matters a lot. It matters to us having a rival intelligence. Something that appears like it's light, but it's not really light. Before Christ came on the scene, Elohim in the law sets up elders. And these elders had laws that they are to help you observe, you get what I mean, and carry out judgments and stuff like that. See, but unfortunately nobody was obeying these laws. There's people were obeying these laws and they got fed up because they lacked the understanding of it. And that's what gave birth to death. And then the price needed to be paid for us to be delivered. Before Christ came on the scene, El Shaddai set up laws and gave you rulers, gave you elders, leaders, people that will help you observe these laws and help you put it on the right track. Right? Good. When they were set up, when he set up these rulers, he clearly told you that you shouldn't rival them. Right? Exactly. But people don't like understanding this. That means don't rival the ordinances that they set before you. Respect them, don't speak evil of them. But at the same time, if these people told you to disobey what else that has already laid in place, you're supposed to rival them. But unfortunately, most people have the attitude that just because this ruler is set up, if this ruler tells you let's go and worship another God, you just follow the ruler and go and worship another God. Just because you have to respect the ruler. And that's what people are still doing till tomorrow. When you see that the prophet is clearly going against God, when you see that the leaders are clearly going against God, instead of it to rival them, you now start quoting the law and claiming that, oh, you're not supposed to speak evil against the ruler of your people. You're not supposed to rival the people. Hello. But that same law also told you that if they told you to go and worship another Elohim, that you're even supposed to stone them to death. So I don't understand. Why can't people understand these things? You see? Why can't you understand the simple things? You quote the law when you like to, but when it is very, very clear that something is wrong, you can't quote the law to act the other way. You just want things the same, and because of this you accept evil rulers. That's why this topic is very important. Stop permitting evil rulers. When something is evil, it is evil. You need to speak up. So if you turn with me to the book of Exodus chapter 22 verse 28, it's going to tell you, thou shalt not rival the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Basically, gods will mean angels and stuff, right? Don't curse the ruler of thy people. Do you get that? Good. However, if the same ruler of thy people were to be evil, the law also says in Deuteronomy chapter 13, I'll read from verse 1 to wherever I stop. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, right? And the sign or the wonder come to pass, right? Wherefore he spake unto the saying, let us go after other gods. You see? So this ruler has performed signs and wonders, which a prophet should. And then these signs and wonders are true. That's they come to pass. So now you believe it's from God. You believe it's from Elohim. But he is now telling you, let's go and worship another Elohim. Basically, he's telling you to break the law, abuse the law, and everything like that. That means if Elohim says thou shalt not commit adultery, he's telling you go and commit adultery. He's just going against the Most High. And he has powers. He has powers, right? What is the Lord telling you? Now, if he says, let's go and follow after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahushua your Elohim proveth you. That means Elohim is trying to test you. That's why he allowed the person's powers in the first place. He's trying to see whether, if I come all powerful and I told you I was evil, are you going to love me? You see, Elohim, I've told you this in the last sermon. Elohim doesn't just want you to say yes, 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 yes. Some of you think it's just a dictator, an authoritator that just want to hear yes. No, he's looking for a relationship. So he's going to do a lot of things to test your faith, whether you really love him for his character, or it's just because he's all powerful, life giver. That's why you love him. You see, he wants you to love him for him. Because of this, he's going to permit some powers to come and set you ablaze. You see what I'm saying? Till he learn to understand, he's looking for a relationship, a truthful relationship. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, you're not supposed to hearken to this prophet or this dreamer of dreams. For else did I proveth you to know whether ye love your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. You see? Do you love me because of my character? Or do you just love me because you've heard about me? Because I'm powerful, because I'm this, because you fear for your life, because you fear eternal fire, eternal damnation, you fear my judgment and stuff like that. Why do you claim you love me? You see? He's not just looking for you to love him. Why do you claim you love me? Why do you think the Creator took his time to write the scriptures, put prophets through a lot so that they can bring out these words and then spread it around? Why do you think he did that? He's looking for people that have a honest relationship with him. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think the Creator has the time to tell you, oh, in the beginning, the whole place was filled with water, and the Spirit of Elohim moved across the face of the earth? Why did he have to tell you that? Why do you think he has to tell you, in the first day I created this, the second day I created it? Did you ask him, why does he have to tell you that? He wants you to exercise your mind to these things. You see? He wants you to understand these things. He wants you to seek for understanding and seek it from the Spirit for him to fill you up. He's looking for a relationship. Very important. He's always been looking for a relationship, and he's not satisfied without a honest relationship. So he can cause all chaos looking for a relationship. Very important you understand that. So some of you don't want to know the Creator, but since you don't know him, you're going to be dejected, you're going to feel oppressed, you're going to feel people are using you and stuff like that. But that's not the Creator's fault. That's your fault. You don't want to give him your brain for him to fill you up. That's your fault. You don't want to spend your time trying to understand his words. That's your fault. You want to be afraid of him, that you don't want to ask questions and get the answers. That's your fault. And so you stay blind to many things, and then people keep using you and you want to blame it on him. How? You want him to deliver you when you don't know him, so that you can go what? You can go and spread falsehood to others. You see? He's going to leave you there till you learn to seek and understand him, or listen to those who know him. Because some of you reject those who know him and embrace the false prophets because they speak things you want to hear. You see? That means you already know what creator you want to create for yourself. You're not interested in who he is. So the role of your spiritual authority is to show it to the Father. Make sure you have an effective relationship with the Father, and send you people that are going to strengthen that relationship. See what I'm saying? So you can't give this to humans. Stop looking at humans as if you're looking at God. Stop looking at humans as if you're looking at your spiritual authority. They are not, the best of them is nothing but a physical authority. Do you understand that? Humans have their place, Elohim has their place. You have to understand this. If not, it will be responsible for you being evil due to the evil spirits that are going to enter into you. See what I'm saying? I was telling you about how sin is very dreadful. Sin is very dreadful because it opens channel for evil spirits to come in. And when evil spirits come in, you're going to do destructive works anyway. See, I was telling you the last sermon, where if you're not destroying, the Creator might keep you somewhere else, not the lake of fire. But unfortunately, the reality is, as long as you're sinful, as long as you continue to sin, evil spirits are going to end up possessing you. When they possess you, you're going to keep doing destructive activities. That's why the judgment is going to say, depart to the lake of fire, prepared for the devil and his angels, for those evil spirits that you love. And you love them so much that even when the Creator punished you, if you read the book of Revelation, he punished you to give you warning, to show you that these spirits are nothing. Some of you even cursed the Creator, despite the plagues he brought upon you. You see? Hardened by the evil spirits. You hate the character of love so much. You want fun so much that abusing humans is fun for you. Doing damaging things to humans is very funny. You see? Very funny. Very funny. When that becomes your fun, who can save you? If you honor the Creator, you're going to disregard those who dishonor the Creator. But because you don't honor the Creator, because you just pass things along, you're always going to honor those who dishonor Him. And you're going to blame it on the Creator at the end of the day. Everybody loves blaming the Creator. They can see all the evil those who claim to descend from the Creator are doing, but they just spamming those people. And when those things backfire, everybody wants to point at the Creator. Oh, why didn't Elohim stop this from happening? Why didn't Elohim stop that from happening? When we stop all these things? Why didn't Elohim protect that little child? Why do you want the Creator to come down from heaven and protect the little child that He gave you power to protect? If you are going to lean on Him, you see, some of you have forgotten the ways of the Creator. The Creator needs to use you to do things, but you believe the Creator should come and do it Himself. So let's say someone wants to kill a little child or something like that. You expect that the Creator should strike the person dead. And then what's going to happen to this little child? Is this little child going to obey the laws of the Creator? Is this little child going to find themselves in the right home where the Creator will be taught, and they will get to know the Creator, and then they'll live this life? Some of you think the Creator should come and interfere in all these things. But if you were in the land of Israel, somebody say, if you were in the land of Israel, where everybody's obeying the Creator's laws, that's when the Creator would have done those things. But whilst you're not there, the Creator can't do those things. The Creator can only make you suspect something, push your instinct goes around if they have good characters. But if they have bad characters, what could happen? Nothing. I want you to understand this. So therefore, the Creator is going to feel sorry that that child is dead because there's nobody listening to Him to be able to save that child from destruction. And there's no way that child could land in a good place for that child to even hear the word. So that child is dead, but that child is not yet judged. You see? You see, the Creator deals with the after death. It is appointed for us to die once, and after that, judgment. So many of you have been accusing the Creator falsely, expecting the Creator to come and do what He gave humans power to do. If the humans are going to be with Him, you see, if they're going to be invoking Him, calling upon Him, He's going to feed them with the wisdom, the power, and everything. And then He's going to rule through them. You see, this is what He created humans for. So because of that, many of you just, I prayed and prayed and prayed. He didn't heal my mother from cancer. He didn't heal my father from cancer. My father had a heart attack. This, that. The Creator is wicked. The Creator is this. The Creator is this. Look at all the things you put upon the Creator. You prayed and prayed and prayed. But when did you spend time with His word in order for you to know Him, so that your prayer will even be right? You see, some of you you're too proud. You believe that if you just call upon the Creator after living your wayward life, that if you need something, you just call upon the Creator. Oh, please do this, please do this, please do that, please do that. And if He doesn't do it, He's wicked. And they just go about to get on me. When we learn to understand the being, somebody say, when we learn to understand the being, so that you can have a relationship with the being, and then you can receive power to radiate for Him upon the earth. And then maybe you can stop things based on the power He gives to you. But you can't stop everything, right? I've told you till you all become in one nation and the Spirit is hovering everywhere. You can't stop everything. But guess what? When everybody has accepted the Creator and Israel is Israel again, just like He once created Israel, or you have a land where everybody accepts the Creator and the Creator is hovering around that land, the Creator is going to start striking people dead again. You see what it takes for the Creator to do those things you expect Him to do. Get it? People came, they wanted to stone the adulteress to death. Why did Christ tell them, he without sin cast the first stone? Because if Christ allows you to stone the adulteress to death, Christ also knows you're guilty of lots of dead sins that you all have to die. And then Christ is going to look at Israel again. They are all guilty of dead sins. The amount of people that have to be killed is too much. So what does Christ come to do? He came to call the lost souls to repentance. He didn't come to kill. He came to save. He came to restore. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing today. You expect the Creator to strike down the pedophile, or to strike down this, or to strike down that. But the Creator has to, if the Creator wanted to strike everyone for their evil around the earth, It's going to strike you inclusive because you are unaware of your actions. You see, some of you like looking at others, but you don't look at yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't look at yourself. They even do worse things than the people you're complaining about. You see what I'm saying? That's how some of you are. You're oblivious to your own actions. But guess what? At the moment, till Satan's authority is completely taken down, right? Things are going to stay the same till we all come together, and then Satan is totally thrusted out of the church, and his place can no longer be found there. That's when the Creator starts striking people dead again, just like in the beginning when he struck Ananias and Sapphira's dead. If you read the scriptures, there are many nations that will be dealt with by the Creator when Satan has been dealt with. But till Satan has been dealt with, the only thing you can do for punishment, for evil in the church, is to cast believers to the realm of Satan. You see? But when Satan is completely cast out, you don't have to cast believers to the realm of Satan anymore. Now you have to what? Keep having a relationship with Elohim, and Elohim is going to do what Elohim does best. People who hate him are going to fall dead. They're going to have famine. They're going to have all manner of plagues and stuff like that. So that's how this thing works. As for Satan, we're talking about the fall of Satan in the last sermon. Due to the fall of Satan, we have what we call spiritual adultery. You see? Because Satan is the father of lies, the rival of truth. Whoever refuses to listen to the truth and listens to the lie is now under the father of lies. He's committing spiritual adultery because he's cheating on the truth now. You see what I mean? I want you to understand spiritual adultery. So adultery started from Satan himself being an anti-intelligence to the Creator, and then people listening to him instead of the Creator. If a woman went to listen to another man contrary to her husband, right? She's committing adultery already before she even sleeps with the person, because she's listening contrary. Somebody say contrary to her husband's principles. That's why I say marriage is based on principles. See? So she's cheating on the principle first before she cheats with her body and everything. There you go. So adultery actually starts from spiritual first before physical. So sometimes when the Creator calls you adulterers, he's talking of the spiritual realm. So when you're not listening to the Creator, you're listening to any intelligence that contradicts his in context, you're committing spiritual adultery. You're committing spiritual adultery. That's why all liars are going to burn in the lake of fire. Somebody say, all liars are going to burn in the lake of fire. Written in your scriptures. All liars. So it's not possible for you to take a lie as a minor sin when it is written, all liars, all who love and make it a lie shall find themselves in the lake of fire. So because you're not obeying the Master's word, you're not obeying Christ's word, you're so graced up that you don't need to know what he commanded in order for you to obey. Right? You cannot feel his power. You can't feel his authority. You can't feel that he's the king of the earth. You can't feel it. You just say it, but you can't feel it. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't even know his commandments. You ain't got the keys of heaven. I'm just trying to emphasize that studying the scriptures and understanding it, understanding what context the words were spoken in, practicing, knowing what to practice is very important to you. Having spiritual authority. Because when you have spiritual authority, you have power over fallen spirits. I've given you power over what? All the power of the enemy. That nothing they can do can by any means hurt you. You see? Your spiritual authorities we receive power from. power to operate on the earthly realm. So why are you giving it to human? Can you receive any power from any human to cast out demons, to cast out? What power can you receive from humans? Turn with me to the book of Matthew chapter 28 verse 18. It clearly tells you. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, that's his disciples, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and on earth. See? Very important you know that. Very important that believers stop being scared. Don't forget the Father also told you, all the fearful shall burn in the lake of fire. I've told you how the Father doesn't like people who are afraid. All the fearful shall burn in the lake of fire. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is not just all liars, all fearful. So when you know that you have He who has all power, what are you scared of? That makes you stop exhibiting your spiritual authority upon the earth. When we say exhibiting spiritual authority, that means you're the highest spirit. There's no spirit on earth that can face you, that can stand you. Do you believe that? So therefore, why are you scared? So your only problem now is the physical non-entities. So is that what you'd be scared of? If you're scared of them, it means you're not really ready to go to heaven, are you? You see? So there you go. If you're scared of the physical people, you're not ready to go to heaven, are you? Imagine Stephen being scared of those stoning him to death. Or do you think he's going to be scared of those shooting him? Or those coming to stab him? You'll probably be praying for them too. You see, they've forgotten about this earth. They're focused in heaven. Don't forget, every true believer is ready to die and go to heaven right now. But they are only on earth to do a job. So if that job is even cut short, they are very happy to go to heaven now. But some of you love this earth so much. And because you love this earth so much, somebody comes to threaten your place on earth. Next thing you're begging the person, oh. You see the problem? No spiritual authority. Whereas these physical human beings are ruled over by fallen spirits. And you are supposed to have power over the fallen spirit that rule over them. You're not scared of them because of what? Turn with me to the book of Revelation chapter 21. I'm going to read verse 8 for you. It reads, but the fearful, somebody say the fearful, and unbelieving, and the abominable, the murderers, the whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars. So I don't know if people still believe that you have grace to be all those things. Do you understand? Oh, I'm under grace, so let's continue doing all these things. Let's be afraid. We are under grace, let's lie. We're under grace. And all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So I ask you, why are you afraid? Why do you need to gossip? Why do you need to listen to what people are saying? Why can't you make your own mind up? Yet you say you're a son or the daughter of the king. You're a servant of the king. For real? Yet you can't make your own mind up. You can't tell yourself what you're going to do right now. You have to check with somebody. Somebody has to control you. You have to check with your pastor for you to practice what you know is truth. So who are you then? You're spending time with this word to thorough yourself to be a believer. You are simply called an unbeliever, basically. And we can't have brethren like this. You see what I'm saying? Having brethren like this just handicaps you. Gives the devil way to be around gathering. The role of your spiritual authority is to make you right to the Father. And when you're right to the Father, you ain't got no fear, you ain't a liar, you ain't a coward, just name it. You ain't all those things. When you're right to the Father, you know what the Father wants, and you're constantly pondering His word, receiving strength, praying, receiving strength, and acting based on the spiritual authority He has given you through the only begotten Son. If you ask the Father anything in my name, you will receive it. So then, who is your spiritual authority? So your spiritual authority, so I'm going to close like this. Your spiritual authority is He who makes your way right with the Father. He who gives you power, gives you knowledge, gives you wisdom, understanding to operate in the earthly realm on His behalf. Because we have fallen spirits in the earthly realm, and they have to be put under the feet of Christ. And if you're going to play with His instructions, you have no spiritual authority. You see? So therefore you lose the authority you would have received from Him when you play with His words, when you play with His instructions. His instructions are to be taken seriously. That means nobody rivals His instructions. Nobody's smarter than Him. They can't even be smarter than Him. If they're smarter than Him, they should send me some intelligence. Let's see. See what I'm saying? They fool you because you refuse to increase in the word. That's why they fool you. That's why they have all these compromising words. But really and truly, the words of the Master has no challenge. I've been looking for one challenge I can't find. It has no challenge. That's the fact, because His life and every other challenger is death, and we can prove it. We can bring their words and rip it in pieces, and we'll show you they're dead. So therefore, if you took a word from someone and you put it through the Master's word, you see what the Master is saying. And that's what you're supposed to hold on to, not that person's word. That person also learned from the Master. That person is supposed to be your brother, your sister. So this message is trying to tell you never to give humans your spiritual authority space. Your spiritual authority is Christ. No human is your spiritual authority. None of them can ever be. When you put yourself under them, they suppress you, and you cannot activate your spiritual power. Your spiritual power is seized. You're knocked off. And this is how many of you fall to evil rulers in the name of respect your authority, forgetting that when your authority turns you against your maker, you should be fighting them. So I hope this message meets you in good peace, and you understand that you have to prioritize the Master's intelligence, His word, and that no human can ever be a rival. They couldn't even dare. It's not just speaking, they couldn't dare. That's why they're jealous of the Master. You see what I'm saying? They want they want to be like a Satan. They want to have their own place contrary to the Master, but they can't because they're under. You see what I'm saying? And so they start boasting, attacking His servants and stuff like that. Indirectly, they can't come directly because they ain't got no tools to come directly. That's what you have going on. So stop giving humans the place for God. Stop it, the place for Elohim. Stop it. And get to your drawing board. Prioritize knowing the scriptures, and anybody that is not helping you know and practice the scriptures is a rebel, is a rival. So now you have to deal with that rival. Stop waiting on the Creator to come and deal with that rival for you. Because still Satan is completely cast down. Revelation chapter 12, where he's cast down, he has lost his power. Right? Till he's cast down. That's the only time the Creator starts striking people dead and giving them famines and stuff like that. You get what I mean? We should read that, then we'll close. Turn with me to the book of Zechariah chapter 14. I'm going to read 16 and 17. I'm going to read 16 to wherever I stop. Turn with me to the book of Zechariah chapter 14. I'm going to read from verse 16 to wherever I stop. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahuwah Sebaot, and to keep the feast of the tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahuwah Sebaot, even upon them shall be no rain. That's famine. You see? By then, the Most High started dealing with people himself, because he has set up the new heavens and the new earth. Understood? So that's when the Most High will start doing those things. Oh, okay, this person is not obedient. The Most High will visit them himself, because now they all owe him, because they came against him. They came to spoil his land. So now they are living on his mercy, and if they don't obey his rules, he's going to discipline them himself. With famine, with whatever he wants to discipline them with. Turn with me to the book of Isaiah chapter 66. I'm going to read verse 23 and 24. I'm trying to show you where the Most High starts doing all these things you're expecting him to do himself. Oh, if Elohim is there, why does he allow bad things happen? There comes a time he's not going to allow bad things happen. That's because people have called upon him, and he's now dwelling with those people. Just like he would have been doing if Israel never sinned against him. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So there comes a time where he's going to do all those things. But you see, you must choose him before he comes to interfere on your behalf. There you go. And you must know him. So it's not just like, oh, no. You must know him. Isaiah chapter 66, 23 to 24, it reads, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh, somebody say, all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahuwah. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. So you see, this is when El Shaddai is dealing with things by himself, after people have chosen him, after Israel has come back together. I repeat, if Israel was doing what the Creator told them to do when he gave them Moses and the laws and everything, you see, these things could have been happening. But because they sinned and rebel, there was no way for him to interfere. He only had to sell them into slavery. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand that the Creator has his own principles and how he desires to work. He created the earth for humans, and these humans are supposed to what? Be having a relationship with him to dominate the earth. Understood? Okay. So the role of your spiritual authority is to restore you back to that order. And those things are going to come back to pass in the end time. So I hope you are blessed. Enjoy the rest of your week and shalom. Stay blessed in Yahushua's name. Amen.